In 1985, Wes Craven once again went to the direct-to-TV, made-for-TV route with the horror film Chiller, which had an interesting concept, but not necessarily a great execution. My introduction to this story was that back when I was a teenager, I had the idea for this story, not knowing that it had already been done. I remember telling a friend that my idea for this story about someone who gets cryogenically frozen, and then when they come back alive, a demon is actually in their body instead of them because their soul has gone to wherever souls go. And the guy kind of looked at me and said, "You mean Chiller, right? The 80s film Chiller." All right, eh? So that put the kibosh on that idea. Suffice to say, I do think it is a pretty good idea. Of course, I would say that because I came up with it myself, didn't I? So I'm going to say, no, I do like the idea. I think there's mileage to be had from it if it was done correctly. The thing is, the force that comes back in this body just isn't bad enough. It's not evil enough. It doesn't do enough to warrant the hour and a half runtime that we have to sit through this film for. Like I say, there's some interesting stuff in here. The setup itself. I think the fact that this guy was a rich dude for some multinational corporation makes sense, because it's only those people who'd be able to afford to have this kind of stuff done anyway. But that also puts the evil presence that is in him into a position of power that would then allow him to do some really wacky, crazy stuff. But he doesn't. I mean, he does some nasty stuff. He kills a guy, he assaults a woman. We can only assume that he raped her, but we don't see any of that, thankfully. But it's like, beyond that, there's nothing of a world-altering kind of, it's not like Damien in The Omen, yeah? By the time we get, like, the first Omen film promises that Damien is going to do stuff that's really going to change the world. He's going to try and change the world. And by the time we get to the third film, as wacky as that film is, and as much as I didn't like it, he is indeed trying to do some crazy stuff. Whereas here, it's just, you feel like ultimately it's a guy sat in an office at the top of a tall business tower, and he doesn't treat a few people all that nicely. I'm not saying the things he does aren't bad, but in order to have a film made about it that's of a spiritual nature and, as a discussion of evil and this, that and the other, it's just like, this guy just doesn't seem all that threatening in the end. It is also shot like a TV movie. There's nothing particularly outstanding about the cinematography. It's very flat images. There's not a lot of depth to it. There's not much attention paid to, how can we get things in the foreground and the background and just make it feel cinematic, open it up. It's just very, who needs to be in this scene? Stick them there, shoot it. The performances are all pretty crap, to be honest. They're all TV performances. They don't feel like movie performances. It feels like one of those movies you'd get that's shot in Canada, Vancouver, in order for tax breaks and things like that. And it just, stick it out on a Saturday night, kills 2 hours, boom, you move on, you forget about it, and you never watch it again. It's that kind of thing. I'm relatively engaged, particularly by the character of the mother. So the guy who's resurrected, his mother is the one who kind of instigates it all, and I think her character makes for a good discussion on the rights and the wrongs of it, the morality of bringing someone back from the dead and playing God. And that's really what the film is all about. We can't play God. If you try and play God, it's never going to work out. And I like all that stuff. And I think her character is probably the strongest thing about the film, if somewhat overplayed by the actress. It's completely forgettable. A week from now, I won't remember this. That's Chiller. But not much to say, not much to write home about. It's a made-for-TV movie. It's just a weird blot on Craven's career. There's a couple of them, actually. There's a few. He had this habit of doing something for the cinema, then doing a TV movie. Cinema, TV movie. which is a bit weird to me. Have you seen Chiller? And if so, did you like it? Do you find some kind of perverse pleasure out of seeing a director slumming it in the world of TV movies? Yeah, leave your thoughts on the film down in the comment section below. Thank you for watching this review, and until next time, cracking.